Give it up for Kyle, everybody. Awesome.
Phenomenal job. Thank you.
Couple things on that.
The couple things. Do you guys notice how much Joe laughs at himself? Do you guys notice it? Some of you guys are paying attention to this stuff now. When he laughs at himself, what does the other person do? Everyone do me a favor, smile. Some of you guys forget to do this in your presentations. You're sitting down with somebody and you wonder why they're not joining you. It's because you look miserable.
Seriously. I was like, man, I'm fired
up. You know how
up.
happy he is in this presentation? He's pumped out of his mind.
Some of you guys are like, man, I'm really fired up, but you just look like death warmed over. I mean, and it's like, I'm really fired up. I mean, you just look angry or whatever, and it's like, dude, tell your face that you're excited, please. You're just, you know what I mean? It's a big deal. Also, I'll say in dress, I didn't touch on this, but this is big. A good network marketer always dresses one notch above whatever circle he's dealing with, his prospect. Not 10 notches, one notch only, right? Now, again, when I first got started in this industry, right, my background was I owned an auto detailing company. I taught at Miramar College up the road, and before that I was in construction. I was an electrician, and then I was a engineering laborer. So I had different groups of friends. Some of my friends that were professors at the college with me were, making $70,000 to $90,000 a year. They dressed a certain way, and then I had my construction friends that I did construction with, right, who had a whole separate set of activities on weekends and after work. When I would meet with some of my buddies that I did construction with, I would not show up wearing like a collared shirt or anything like that because it made them feel uncomfortable. Right here, if I showed up today, what was your name again? Jose. If I showed how Jose is dressed, all my construction buddies would have laughed at me. Like, guy in a suit here, what's going on, buddy? You here to sell me something? Now, if I would have sat down with some of my college coworkers who worked over there at Miramar College with me, wearing my construction outfit, they'd have been like, oh, my brother, like, what have you been doing? What's going on?
We're going to build something?
We're gonna build. So understand, right, a good network marketer is just one notch. You're dressed well. This is kind of right now how I'm dressed, kind of my normal MO. Notice I have nice jeans on. There's no holes in them. It's not like tattered up. They're nice jeans. Shoes. Gentlemen, guess what the first thing anybody notices about you is? Your shoes. Here's the big thing. Polish your shoes. Shine your shoes as a dude. It's a big thing. My shirt. I'm not wearing some big, Miller Lite shirt. I have a shirt on that's typically not branded. There's a big thing on it. Kind of cleaned up right here. Even if I have a beard, it's cleaned up. I'm not like this, my neck hair all crazy. Right? I'm cleaned up. I'm here. It's hard to climb the ladder of success dressed in the cloak of failure. So you have to know who your audience is. So one notch, and know who that person is. Now, in this presentation, guys, the whole thing, good closing comes from good opening.
Yep.
If you notice, I have so much ammo. If Kyle would have given me any objections, say, hey man, I just don't know if I have the time. I say, man, I hear you, brother. I get it. Let me ask you this. 5 years, 4 years, obviously you're getting out of the military. How serious are you about being able to go out there and be a pilot? Well, I'm serious, man. I'd love to be a pilot. Let me ask you this, brother. Right now, how often does somebody in the military get promoted and start making more money? All the military guys are like, no, right? Let me ask you, brother. Let's say we didn't do this. Here's what I can promise you, Kyle. You always have the option right now of just, forgetting that we ever talked, and you can leave here today, and here's what I can promise you is going to happen. Nothing. You can go back to the military tomorrow, and you can go for the next 4 years, and here's what I can promise you, brother. Nothing's going to happen. Now, here's what's really exciting, brother. When do you see yourself getting to make that $5,000 a month that we talked about? Right? If you don't do this, when do you see the military paying you that $5,000 a month, whether you work or not? What is he going to say? Never. Now, Kyle, let me ask you this, brother. Would it make more sense for you to keep doing what you're doing, knowing that you're never going to have that $5,000 a month coming in every month, or would it make more sense to you to put yourself on a path part-time, spare time, or at least there's light at the end of the tunnel. Do you see how it'd be possible, if you were to learn this, how you could make that $5,000 every month coming in? Would it make more sense to have that option or to not have that option? Welcome to the team, brother. His only option, now, no, what am I closing him on? I'm not closing him on doing Secret. I'm not closing him on doing skincare. I'm not closing him on any of these things. I'm closing him on his own goals and his own dreams. If I don't take the time to find out what those are before the presentation ever begins, I have nothing to go out there and close him on. I have the best product in the world. My product is whatever he wants. It's really hard to say no to that. So all this stuff, I'm just going to go put it, listen, man. Let me ask you, years down the road, let's say you're out of the military. I'm sure are you a lifer or you want to go out there and have a civilian career after the military? Civilian career? Killer. Now that $10,000 a month, we talked about, man, how would it feel to just have no stress at all in your life? It'd be pretty awesome, right? Being able to have that peace, being able to go out there and be a pilot, and imagine that $10,000 a month, you could probably fly to a lot of places and go enjoy wherever you wanted to go, huh? If you don't do this, when do you see yourself being that pilot, flying to somewhere, throwing the garage guy the keys, taking your bag and going for it and going where you want to go? When do you see that happening? All right, now think about it, man. Would it make more sense to just keep doing what you're doing, knowing that you're not going to get to be that pilot and go do that stuff? Or would it make more sense to at least put yourself on a path, part-time, spare time, where you can see that that's a real option for you? I'm excited to work with you, brother. That's exactly how it is. That's why everybody signs up. I just sign him up on his own goals. Secret's a vehicle to help him get whatever he wants. Does that make sense?
We're going to do a training later on objections, overcoming objections as a whole, but I do want to do one right now specifically because I think it involves closing this out. Because one of the biggest challenges that people experience at the end is that people say they don't have money. How many of you guys have had this before? Okay, all right, you run across this. I want to go over this objection now. I want to give you a little bit of the philosophy behind it before we go into really more so how to deal with it, and we'll talk even more how to deal with objections as a whole later. But this one thing, what I want you to understand, nobody doesn't have the money.
Nobody doesn't have.
Nobody does not have the money.
Meaning everybody has the
Meaning
money.
everybody has the money. So this is why this is important to understand. There's no one that can tell me they don't have the money because they are lying. Now, some people would say, well, maybe right now in this exact moment, they don't have $1,500 on a credit card or in a bank account. Maybe that might be true. Most of the time, it's not true either. But here's what I want everyone to know. People spend money not on what things cost, on what they value.
They have access to it.
This is why the word sale is such a big thing. Why? Because there's a perceived value. Why do companies do a 2-for-1, a BOGO? Buy one, get one free. Because of the perceived what? Value. Many of you have bought things you don't even like because you thought it was a good value. Not because of the cost. Cost is relevant. Cost is irrelevant. Value is everything. Mm-hmm. As an example, we're driving down the freeway and you see tires 50% off. If you don't need tires, do you care? No. But if you have just got a flat and you need a new tire and you see tires for full price, would you pay full price? Of course you'd pay full price if you needed a tire right there on the spot, because otherwise you're not going anywhere. The value changes. Let's say Joe says, oh man, it looks all good. I don't have the money. Many of you, you accept that. Stop it. Because Joe has found a couple $100 for much more stupid things in his life.
For sure.
Yes.
Especially me.
How many of you guys know people that have found a couple $100 for really stupid stuff? Yes? If he wanted it, the reason that he's not departing with his hard-earned income or unresourceful enough to find it is because you haven't shared enough value. That's it. That is literally it. Now, I use a few different analogies. One of the ones, I like cars, especially if it's a red. It's a good one for that group.
Lime green Lotus.
Lime green Lotus. Here's a perfect example. So, what was your first name?
Kyle.
Kyle. So, Kyle, lime green Lotus. Knows what he wants. Say, how much does that car cost? A lot. Would you probably agree it's more than $80,000? Let's call it $80,000. Here's the thing. When I do this analogy, write this down, car analogy. I'm giving you guys a closing analogy here. He says, how much is it? I don't know. I want us to have an exact value attached to the car, a number. I don't know. 80,000. Why? I'm going to show you in a minute. Let's say 80,000. Is that safe? Okay. Or something he'll agree on. Yeah. 80,000. So Kyle, if I told you that if by tomorrow I give you 24 hours, By tomorrow night at this time, meet me back here, and within 24 hours, if you brought me, you could choose the premium pack, you could choose the special edition pack. Let's say $600, $600, $550 plus is $49. You bought me $600 tomorrow night, pennies, quarters, dimes, nickels, credit card, cashier's check, someone else's credit card. If you brought me $600 by tomorrow night at this time, before this time tomorrow night, right here at this location, I would give you the keys to the brand new lime green Lotus that you're looking for. No loan, no payments, full keys and title, all yours. Take it. Could you find it? Guess what everybody says to that question? Yes. So what we have both agreed on, without him wanting to, is the fact that he either has it or he could get it. Within how many hours? Now, you could say 12, you could say 8, you could say whatever. It's like 24 hours. So now both of us are in agreement that he either has it or could find it. Now then when I say with Kyle, just to close it out, I say, Kyle, so here's the thing. So you and I both know that if you really wanted to, you could find it. Now, let me ask you a question. Why were you willing to come up with $600 in 24 hours for a car? Well, because I wanted or whatever. Because of the perceived value of the car. So one of the things I say is, what's interesting, Kyle, is you're willing to come up with $600 for a car, but not $600 for a vehicle that can give you the more important thing than a car, which is your time.
And a car.
And the car. Because you can buy a car anytime you want. You can never buy back yesterday. I don't know about you. I value my time. Now, if I've got this list of stuff that I know what's important to him, now it's a different conversation. Is finding $600 worth all of this stuff that you said that you wanted? Okay? That's a hard thing to say no to. If someone says, I want to be a stay-at-home parent, they say I don't have the money. I say, is this finding $600 worth being a stay-at-home parent? How do you know? That doesn't even make any sense. Now, this is a car, it's a perceived value. Now, I could do another thing. It was like, I don't have any money. Well, do you work? Yes. How many of you guys know people that work? Do you drive a car? Yes. If you were driving down the street and you ran over something and blew all 4 tires and it was $600 to change all 4 tires, what would you do? You'd find it. Why? Because you got to do it in order to keep the job that you just told me will never get you what you want long term, you will fight for, but this you won't?
Phenomenal.
Do you guys see this conversation? This is why it's unescapable if you get in front of him. You're like, it's terrible. This is why some people I know they won't meet Joe. They're afraid to meet Joe.
100%.
They're afraid because they know. They're like, listen, I can't meet you. And they're like, why? Because they know they'll join. Like, seriously, I've actually heard people say this to Joe. They're like, we can't meet. Why? Because you will get me. Okay? I'm not making that up. That's for real. Okay? So when you're doing this, let me give you one more thing, and then I'm gonna let him finish up on this. On the money side of it is I talk to people about being creative. Now again, they may not have it in their account on the spot. That's okay. I'm not gonna fault somebody for being broke, meaning their temporary situation of not having cash on them. It's not a big thing. But it also lets me know if they're even remotely serious about making a difference in their life. So I'll give an example. It's like, well, do you have a TV? Sell it.
I had Matt on Jordan's team sell his TV a couple weeks ago and buy the 550 pack.
Yeah. Sell it. Let me ask you a question. How much money does your TV make you? Again, so what am I doing? I'm giving him a perceived value of something that's worth something more than he is actually already owns a value. He has something of value that makes him no money. Here he has the potential of a business that can give him everything he wants, if I can show him that path, and how he can trade something that doesn't make him money for something that does make him money. Here's the thing. You can go buy the TV later. Especially if they're young, almost everybody has a gaming station. You know, you have a PlayStation, you have whatever, sell it. Most of the people that I know that are broke have an expensive phone. Sell it and go get the freebie for a couple months. People say, I don't have time. Sell your couch. You'll find it 20 hours a week. It's a perceived what? Value. Is this making any sense?
Yes.
Okay? So inside of our business, the people that win are the people who have all the products. This is not debatable. Go ask any 6-figure income earner in our company which package that they bought. Now, they might not have bought it the moment that they joined, but when they decided they were going to turn on, they were going to go build their business, every single one of them has a special agent pack.
Yep.
Without exception. That is not like on accident. There's a reason for it. So figure it out, come up with it. And some of you in the room, now I'm talking to the agents in the room, some of you haven't decided to actually build your business yet. Some of you don't have it. Some of you guys, because you haven't seen the value in it. If I told you I would give you $1 million for giving me $1,500, would you?
For sure.
Of course. Would you find it? Would you be creative? You'd figure it out. You'd borrow it for $1 million. So in other words, you'll find $1,500 for $1 million in cash because of the value. Here's it. I saw this as a $1 million business. Not one time, every year for the rest of my life. So I was willing to do whatever it took to get started the right way because of what we saw of the value. So and that's what Joe is really good at, is painting the value of the business into the presentation. Write this down. Paint them in the picture. Mm-hmm. What Joe is doing through the questions he's asking is he's painting them into the future they want, with our business being the vehicle to do it.
Absolutely awesome. One last thing on this whole overcoming objections thing. Let's say he says something to me like, I don't like sales, or I don't know, I don't know if I'd be good at this, or something like that. I'm shy, or whatever, right? Say, listen, Kyle, we saw here, one of the things that you really love about your job right now is the people. I'm sure you like getting to meet new people and see people from different backgrounds, things like that. One of the things that obviously is not as fun is having to follow a bunch of rules and kind of take orders from somebody else where they tell you where to be, when to be there, that whole thing. Right? Do you see how here you could actually work with the people that you really wanted to? The cool thing is you build your own team. You don't have to work with the people that I want you to. You can actually recruit your own. You see, you could work with the people that you really want to. Yeah. How would it be? Has anybody ever worked with in the military that you really don't like very much? Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just pick the only people that you wanted to work with in the military? That's what you get to do here, right? Now, I'm using the stuff that he said he likes about his job to show him how he can have that here. Now, here's one of the other things I do that's so powerful. Now, let's say he's really just, I can tell he's like conflicted. He's like, I want to, but I'm like, ah. Let's do this, brother. Benjamin, you ever heard of Benjamin Franklin? Yeah. He's a pretty smart guy. He said, anytime you have a big decision to make, draw a line down the center of a piece of paper and just kind of put your pros and cons, like your risk versus reward. Right? I say it just like that.
This is so good.
Risk versus reward. Now, Kyle, let me ask you this, dude. If we're going to do this, what are we risking to do it? What are we risking?
$1,500.
$1,500. What else?
Time.
Maybe a little bit of time. How much time?
10 hours a week?
10 to 15 hours a week. Let's say we give it 4 weeks of serious 10 to 15 hours every week. We're risking 40 to 60 hours of our life. Now let me ask you this. This is really all we're risking, right? Can you think of anything else we're risking? That's pretty much it. What's our potential reward? What could we get out of this? Financial freedom.
Lime green lotus.
A lime green lotus. Pilot's license. Travel. What else? Now, I guess here's the real question. If Benjamin Franklin was here, he'd probably ask us this question, Kyle. Would it be worth risking $1,500 and 10 to 15 hours a week to be able to have your lime green lotus, have your pilot's license, and travel the world? Welcome to the team, brother. I guess it would, right? I mean, if we have to say that, well, yeah, I guess it would be worth, because here's what I know, Kyle. I've risked, I've spent more money on a night out in Vegas than I've spent to be in the business. There's no return on investment. I've spent more on a date.
Last but not least here, before we move into another topic, just so you guys know, how many of you guys want to be able to move more special agent packs in your business? Number one thing you need to do is have the special agent pack. Mm-hmm. You can't expect people to do what you didn't do. Here's what duplicates what you do. So, well, I have a little package, but you should get the big package. No, it doesn't work that way. We've done a lot of research, and we found out that giraffes actually give birth to giraffes.
Only.
Kangaroos to kangaroos, cows to cows. It's kind of crazy. Humans give birth to humans. It's kind of strange. So you're like, what? Where is he going with this? Special agent packs give birth to. Yep.
I can point right here, actually. Right here. Put it back. What package did you get started with? You? Uh-huh. The special agent
Special
pack.
agent.
How many special agent packages have you personally enrolled? Three personally. Just in getting started. And then 2 more with the 550.
And what's probably interesting is the 2 with the 500 want to get the special agent set.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure it out.
That's awesome. Right? Perfect example.
Yep.
Right here.
So, do what duplicates.
Both of those examples are really good for reds that Jesse just gave. Somebody who's a yellow, right,
Yes.
who doesn't want a fancy car or anything.
Yep.
Here's what I would ask. Like, let's say Kyle was a big yellow and just wanted to help people out. Kyle, if you won the lottery tomorrow and there was one person in your life that you could bless and help out financially, who would that person be? Your mom? Now, let me ask you this. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, you get a phone call. It says your mom, something happened, something crazy, and your mom ended up getting locked up in jail. And bail for your mom is $1,500 to get her out of jail. And is there any doubt in your mind that you would come up with that $1,500 so she wouldn't have to sit in there in jail? Now, you may not have the money right now in your bank account, but trust me, we'd probably both go to work and find it, right? And that's what we're talking about, the value of it. Somebody who likes to help people, let's say something like this happened, what would you do to be able to go out there and make sure that the person that you cared about didn't have to go sit in there and go through something like that?
The Blues trip, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? How much would it cost? Then what you do is this, is you say, what if you could do that for a year? Blues get really excited about forever travel.
Endless road trips.
Endless road trips. If you're talking to a green, here's what you need to show a green. They need to know on paper, show them how they make their money back. That's what they do. That's what greens need to know. Literally, we're going to talk to people. That's not a number. Do you guys get it? Mm-hmm. Like, how many people have to sign up for me to get my money back? Mm-hmm. That's what they need to know. So you need to physically show them on paper, write out, and if they can see that, because what they're doing is they're making this risk versus reward assessment. But it has to be something very tangible for them.
2 parties a week or 2 meetings a week with 3 prospects minimum at each event.
Yep.
For 4 weeks in a row. 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4.
Two parties or meetings a week with 3 prospects minimum at each event for 4 weeks in a row. We're going to make you more than $1,500. This is how we're going to do it. Okay, got it. Even if we just enrolled just a third of the people that we're talking to here with these packages, now we're getting you in profit mode. We have people to work with in your organization. Very easy to do.
There's a fine line between inspiration and manipulation. And I want you guys to get the difference here. I'm not here to convince somebody that doesn't want to do secret to do secret. I'm here to show somebody how they can achieve what they're looking through secret if they're looking for something. Through this process, this is something that I think is important to understand, is if I'm trying to get you to do something for my reasons, yes.
That's manipulative.
That's manipulation. I'm not trying to get Joe to join secret for my reasons. I'm trying to show him why he should join secret for what?
His reasons.
For him, what he can get out of it, not what I can get out of it. Now, we're lucky to be in a financial model where it's mutually beneficial, of course, where I win by helping Joe win through that process. But if he's not interested in the beginning, I'm not going to get that far. Do you guys understand? Through an invitation, through a call, through setting an appointment, through actually that person showing up, to sitting through the entire presentation, to getting to the end. I'm not going to get that far with somebody if they really are totally uninterested. You guys, so it's that person that they want to. How many of you guys know that kid that wants to get in the pool? But they're like, I don't know, should I? Boom, just toss them in the pool. And then once they get in, guess what? They're like, this is so much fun. Once they get in the pool. And what's crazy is that once you see that person make a decision to yes, watch their whole demeanor change. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about, right? They're like, I don't know. And what they need is they need your confidence. They need your confidence that, hey, it's going to be okay. I got your back. We're going to do this. And as soon as they sign up, all of a sudden they go from, I don't know, to, what are we doing? Who are we talking to? Let's go make this happen, right? How many of you guys know what I'm talking about when you make that shift? Like all of a sudden there's this shift in people. So then that's the thing.
I need to explain this in 2 different ways. There's 2 conversations that gave me massive breakthroughs in this area. I used to have this challenge of, but what if everyone doesn't make it? What if somebody says they want it and they don't? And it was actually a conversation that I was having with a personal trainer that completely changed the way I really thought about this industry. Think about this. Any of you guys know the statistics on people who buy gym memberships that don't go to the gym? It's astounding. Over 85% of people, over 90% of people that actually buy a gym membership never walk into that gym again. It's amazing. Now, as a personal trainer, that's someone's job is to sell packages of gym time, working out. Right? As a personal trainer, my job is to say, you come to me with your fitness goals. You tell me, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to get in this shape. I want to change my body. I want to do this, and this. And I sell you the big package, Well, I'm going to give you X amount of workouts. I'm going to do personal training sessions with you this. I'm going to create a nutrition plan for you. I'm going to give you all this stuff. Here's what's amazing. Even the people who buy the big package in fitness, guess how many of them actually follow through and go change everything? Very, 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 very few. So I'm talking to this personal trainer, and it's funny because I'm like, it's interesting. You and I have a similar issue. How do you sell something that you know statistically the majority of people buying it are not going to go lose weight? How do you sell that? And they said, it's funny. Once I realized that their decision to follow through on my program or not doesn't change at all what I'm selling. The reality of it is, if someone actually follows this nutrition plan and they come to these appointments, they are going to lose weight. They are going to hit their goals, and I can point to so many testimonials of people that have done it over and over and over and over again, that if you follow this program, you will hit your goals, you will lose weight every time. That's what I sell. What I sell is the opportunity for you to be able to hit all your goals, the goals that you're telling me you want. Whether or not you decide to show up to the gym or not, that's on you. Does that make sense? Yeah. If someone buys the 1450 pack and then they go into the witness protection program and you can't get a hold of them, does that change the opportunity that we have our hands on in secret at all?
No.
No. Does it change the fact that if they showed up, if they made a list, if they learned these skills, if they learned how to do this and actually committed to doing it with some work ethic, that they would get incredible results? Mm-hmm. No, that I can point to testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. It works flat out. I can show you some people it's worked for that I've helped. It worked for me. It worked for Jesse. It's worked for so many people. I've been able to duplicate it and show people how to do it. Because this is the beginning. The other thing I'll tell you is influence is unavoidable. There's a conversation that I had a little while back where I'm saying leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. John Maxwell. Now, influence is my ability to get you to do something that you wouldn't have done if I wasn't there. Say it again. My ability to get you to do something that you wouldn't have done if I wasn't there. That's what influence is, and leadership is just influence. Now, pretend for a second, I want to give you guys a scenario. Pretend for a second like you have a friend who is the food director of a large school district. And in her school district is hundreds of schools, and in these hundreds of schools, hundreds of thousands of students who go to cafeterias every single day. This is actually a real study that was done. This is a real statistic. This is a real thing that happened. What's amazing is they had a bet, the director of food services and a friend of hers who worked in grocery stores. And they said, I wonder if we can influence how the children decide to eat based purely upon how we display the food. Without changing their choices, without changing the menu at all, I wonder if how we display the food would affect what food the children decide to eat. So in some of the schools, a few dozen schools, they put the dessert in the front of the line, and in a few dozen schools, they put it in the back of the line. In a few dozen other schools, they put it in a completely separate line. In some of the schools, they put Cheetos at eye level. In some of the schools, they put carrots at eye level. And they just did this study. Here's what's incredible. Through this, they found out that they could increase or decrease any food they wanted to, plus or minus 25%. There's a 50% sway that they could control without taking away any of the choices available to the children, purely changing the way that it was displayed to them. Now begs the question, what's the right thing to do? Couple different options, right? A, I could display the food in a way to where the kids would have made whatever decision they were going to make with or without me. That's one option. I could try to display the food in a way completely at random, pick the names out of a hat, and I have no control over it at all. That's one option. I could try to display the food in a way that's best for the children. We know if you eat vegetables and carrots, it's probably better than chocolate cake. We know this. We could display it in a way to maximize profits, period. We could display it in a way of talking to the food supplier companies and say, who's going to offer us the most bribes to put their food first? Put it at eye level. Do you guys realize the food that they put in grocery stores at eye level or that you see first, you buy more of? Now, what is the right answer? The argument here, for me, I say, is without taking away the freedom, because I'm a big fan of freedom, and I like to have all my options. In America, we're a big fan of that. We let you smoke cigarettes here in our country, even though we all know they're bad for you. Yes?
Yep.
Now, if we took away the freedom, so you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes anymore, even people who are non-smokers would be like, well, you can't just take away their freedom. I mean, even if, in America, we give you the freedom to poison your own body, do whatever you want. Even though we know, just healthcare costs alone go massively through the roof if we keep letting everybody smoke, but we're going to do it. In America, we give you the freedom to not save for your own retirement. Mm-hmm. We give you the freedom in our country, if you choose not to set aside money throughout your working career and you become old, here's what's crazy. If somebody willfully decided not to save for their own future and now they're old, what do? You let them starve to death? We can get a good debate going here. Mm-hmm. What's the right thing to do? I mean, they knew what they were doing. They didn't do it. But I think most of us would probably agree you can't just let them die. So now what's the answer? Now here's the thing. We love the freedom. America, we want the freedom to have all the choices available. But I believe that our job is to present this information in the best way possible to help our choosees make the best decision for them. What I've done here with Sean today is present this information in a way that will hopefully help Sean make the best possible decision for Sean. And let me explain what I mean by this. If Sean says no, and he walks out this door, and he doesn't join, and he doesn't do anything else besides continue to bartend or anything else, well, there's nothing wrong with anybody who wants to be a bartender. The problem is somebody who's a bartender who doesn't just want to be a bartender.
Exactly.
If all you want to do is be a bartender, then rock out. I like to drink beers. So that's great. We can hang out. But the problem is for somebody who doesn't just want to be a bartender, who wants more out of his life, it's my job to place this information in front of Sean in a way that's most beneficial to give Sean the best chances of doing well for himself. Do you get, if Sean doesn't make the decision to do this, statistically, I can already tell you what statistically is probably going to happen. He'll be in about $14,500 credit card debt. He'll try to retire at 65 on government assistance, which he won't. He'll live on the Social Security, which is $1,100 a month, which is supposed to be bankrupt in 2016. He'll rely on somebody else. This is going to be Sean's life, and I know that. He'll statistically be a little bit more in debt every year, have nothing for the future. I can leave him there, or I can present this in a way to give him the best chance of doing well. That's what today is all about. Today is all about it's not about manipulation, it's about influence. Now, by the way, just so you know, kids are going to show up to school and go to the cafeteria whether you and I decide to do anything about it or not.
Yep.
Influence happens. That everyone around us is being influenced all the time by the shows you watch, to the music you listen to everything around you, and the people around you influence us all the time. You can't stop it. The question is not, are people going to be influenced? Of course they're going to be influenced. The question is what they're going to be influenced for too. And with a child, with a 4-year-old, you don't let them make their own decisions. Why? Because their 4-year-old brain doesn't get, hey, you know what I mean? Like maybe smoking cigarettes isn't a good idea. I mean, like they don't know that stuff. They see, grandma doing it, like, all right, well, try that out. You gotta do your best with a child and say, no, listen, baby, listen, hey, there's certain stuff, we can't do that. That's the thing, most people today have spent just as much time on understanding how our financial system works as they know about like quantum physics, which is nothing. Most people really, honestly, you ask how taxes really work to the average person, they have no idea. You ask them why most of us know rich get richer, poor get poorer. But you really get into why that is, I don't know. They're more concerned with happy hour. Right? It's our job. Influence is going to happen. If you and I have the chance to influence somebody in a way that's best for them, don't we owe it to them to give it a shot?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Agreed. That was a nice little rant.
Thank you.
I liked it.